Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So I'm in the shop today. It's hot, muggy, humid. I got all the fans going. Let's get into another topic request. Somebody asked me, what's the difference between revenge and justice? Is there a difference, philosophically? I think there's an obvious difference. I think some people can get confused by this because there's an element of punishment attached to justice, which may feel like revenge or appear to be revenge, right? The death penalty. It's an aspect of our justice system to get sentenced to death. You get sentenced to death when you kill somebody else, depending on the state you live in. So it's an eye for an eye is what it feels like. And it's not the person or the family or the next of kin of who you murdered that goes and pulls that lever of the electric chair or whatever. It's just the state. It's just the government who does it. Someone who doesn't even know you. So I can see how people look at this type of stuff and they think it's revenge. They don't see a difference between justice and revenge. So let's hash it out. First of all, revenge is specifically an individual going after another individual for a wrongdoing. Oddly enough, just a side note, most revenge plots and revenge crimes, statistically, are between family members. Very often when you're plotting your revenge, it's against someone in your family, for some reason. People get really emotionally attached and really vindictive, and instead of just wanting justice, they want revenge, they want punishment, they want to hurt you like you hurt me. You know, I want to hurt you 1,000 times more than you hurt me. I'll show you. Revenge is a sin, I think, in the Bible, right? And it's hard to justify revenge as healthy. In a rational conversation, it's hard to pat someone on the back as they're going out the door and say, well, go get them. I mean, my dad was like that, and I couldn't complain to my dad about somebody fucking with me or anything like that. Because he would put a pistol on the table, loaded, and say, go handle your fucking business. I'd be like, Dad, you know, I'm 16. I think revenge is anger. It's not being able to let something go. There's often, at least in the streets, when people get revenge, there's a fear attached to it. The fear of looking bad, the fear of not appearing to be strong. And you let somebody get over on you without taking revenge. It's not enough for justice. You have to take your own personal revenge. And if you don't, you're punk. I mean, you're weak. Revenge is only momentarily fun, and it's never the release that you think it's going to be. You have a fantasy that once you accomplish your act of vengeance, once you take your revenge upon your enemy, you're going to somehow feel better. You'll be happy then. Then you can relax. Then you can get a good night's sleep. Then it's all over. It's not. It just keeps going. Supervillains, even though they're somewhat comic book characters, I mean, we do have real supervillains in real life. They're hate-filled, anger-filled people hell-bent on revenge. Revenge against their enemies, revenge against the government. It could be revenge against a whole side of town. You see that in a lot of gang neighborhoods. They just go over to a side of town and shoot up anybody. There's a reason why the Bible's against revenge, because it makes you weaker. Dwelling on that kind of negativity weakens you. It's poison. It's a sickness. Literally weakens your mind, makes you into a weak-minded fool. But it also weakens your body and your immune system. So revenge is an individual act to right a wrong. Justice is creating balance, returning things back to normal. That's what justice is. So there may be an element of punishment within justice, but it's not meant as an individual response to a wrongdoing. You get sent to jail for robbery because there's rules against robbery and there's punishment attached to it meant to teach you a lesson, to rehabilitate you. But it's not revenge because it's not personal. It's just everybody's getting this. You go to a prison yard, everybody's got the same time. All the drug addicts are doing 3 to 5, all the robbery guys are doing 10. It's all the same. They could eventually just replace judges with robots. Justice is love, whereas revenge is anger. Remember that anger is always a root emotion of fear, because there's only 2 emotions. And I've talked about this before. There's only 2 emotions for people that don't understand this. There's only love and fear. That's all that exists. All other emotion that exists, no matter how nuanced and whatever, all other emotions are stemmed from either love or fear. So we can look at revenge as fear. I call it anger, but anger is fear. Justice is love, because justice is returning to a sense of balance, and that comes from a place of love. When my father was murdered, all I wanted to do was seek revenge. I plotted the murder. I was going to murder the guy who killed my father. Keep that cycle going. And I was going to have to go to prison to do it. That was my first step in my plot. Step 1, get locked up and go to the same prison as little Mike, so I can kill little Mike. That's step 2, was kill little Mike. I never did it. I abandoned my plot. I gave up revenge on that issue, and it was hard to do. I felt kind of a family obligation, a generational obligation. But I had to break a generational curse. I realized I would rather things just go back to normal, just go back to the way they were before all this shit went bad. That's really all I wanted. Revenge is just going to make it worse. I'm going to end up in the bottom of the prison somewhere, locked down 23 hours a day, tattoos all over my face, acting like some kind of supervillain. That's where my revenge was going to lead me. You know where justice led me on this particular issue with my dad's murder? I chose justice over revenge. To return to normal, to have a sense of balance in my life. That led me to right here, to this motorcycle shop. I own this building and the land that it sits on. That led me to greatness. At least to the path that eventually led me to greatness. So I don't know if this really has helped. I don't have a lot of notes for this. This is all just kind of freeballing off the top of my head. And to the person that requested this topic, I hope that you got something out of this. If anybody else wants to add to this dialogue, please do so, and we can hash this out. What's the difference between revenge and justice? Thanks for watching.